My people, now how on a day, my people, there's no time for introduction in this one. No time for introduction. You've heard from the intro where His Excellency Oba Tobie boldly called out Ifeanyi Ejiofor as the eye of the Fulani cabal, the Fulani government in IPOB. At that point, some people were calling him a traitor. Some said he was working with Tinubu. Even those they called the DOS, they were attacking Simon Ekpa for exposing Ejiofor, who was the eye of the Fulani cabal, the Nigerian government in IPOB. Today, IPOB has been proscribed by the so-called appeal court of that so-called Nigeria, which doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense because every Biafran is IPOB. So if you are saying you are proscribing them as a terrorist organization, it means 80 million Biafrans have been proscribed by the zoo. But also, what has the so-called DOS said about it? Nothing. That shows you that they were working hand in hand all this while to sabotage the good works of Oyendu Nnamdi Kanu. And right now, Simon Ekpa has been vindicated. I want you to hear what Kanunta is saying, the brother of Nnamdi Kanu. Hear what he's saying about Ifeanyi Ejiofor and Mike Ozekhome, being those working with the caliphate to sabotage Nnamdi Kanu and IPOB. When we said it, they said we're telling lies. When Simon Ekpa broke it down way back, how many years ago? They called him a liar. They said he was working with Tinubu. But before you, I present to you the evidence coming from the brother of Nnamdi Kanu. If you are ready, let's go there. Listen to our sister, Esther Nwachukwu, as she breaks it down. Let's go there. Listen.
Now, Kanunta Kanu, the brother of the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, has revealed what lawyers Mike Ozekhome and Ifeanyi Ejiofor benefited from sabotaging IPOB's move against his proscription by the federal government. According to Kanunta, both men who were recently sacked by Kanu worked with the government to ensure the IPOB leader remained in the custody of the Department of State Services for terrorism and treasonable felony. On X, he says, in return, Mike Ozekhome was rewarded with life bencher by the body of benchers chaired by Chief Adegboyega Awomolo, the prosecutor in MNK's case, whilst Ifeanyi Ejiofor is awaiting his reward as senior advocate of Nigeria because they sabotaged their client. This was as he urged media houses to investigate the rule of law in the proscription of any organization as provided by the Constitution of Nigeria. He also wondered why the late Chief of Staff, Abba Kyari, signed the ex parte order against IPOB and not former President Muhammadu Buhari. Kanunta then revealed that the legal team handling Kanu's case is led by Aloy Ejiofor, adding that Ifeanyi Ejiofor is done and dusted. Also, you recall that Ejiofor has vowed to challenge the Court of Appeal ruling that affirmed the federal government's right to proscribe IPOB as a terrorist organization. In a statement, he said IPOB would challenge the ruling at the Supreme Court soon. Mr. Peter Anosike, how would you react to Kanunta's statement that Ejiofor, actually Ifeanyi Ejiofor and Ozekhome benefited from sabotaging Nnamdi Kanu and IPOB?
Well, basically, that's
Hold it there before that man speaks. I just want you all to get this into your mind. That all this while we've been telling you Ejiofor was the eye of Nigerian government in IPOB. And they blame Simon Ekpa. But today, it is now in the public. Let's continue and hear what the analyst said about it. Let's see.
I'm not privy to that information.
Okay.
I don't know about it.
You're not privy to it, but the thing
now
is
this man again is Angurumama. Hey God, okay. Let me wait and hear what he has to say. Now Angurumama, but let's just wait and see what he's gonna say. Continue.
Example, Kanunta recently started spilling a lot of information. One of them is the fact that the son of the president said that with the consent of the president, they had assured that if the 2023 elections went smoothly in the southeast and that the president was voted for, that there was a strong tendency that Nnamdi Kanu will be released. Also, we now have him having to make this statement specifically by saying that Ifeanyi Ejiofor and Mike Ozekhome were the persons that they benefited from sabotaging Nnamdi Kanu Kanu and IPOB's prescription case in the court. You know that Ifeanyi Ejiofor no longer represents Nnamdi Kanu. You also know that Mike Ozekhome no longer represents Nnamdi Kanu. Could this be part of the reasons why Nnamdi Kanu said he doesn't want these individuals to represent him anymore in court?
Now you are thinking, my sister. Now you are thinking. Now you are applying logic as a journalist. You are doing very, very well. That's what I expect people in that zoo. They must use their rational thinking mind when they are analyzing things. What you said was perfect. You've hit a nail on the head. And guess what? When Ejiofor and Ozekhome was removed, who were those dogs crying? Who were those, crying? Think about it. It was the same DOS. The same DOS, they were crying, saying that Ejiofor represents them. Ejiofor represents IPOB. Despite the godhead of IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu sacked Ejiofor. Yet, those they call the DOS, they went against Nnamdi Kanu. And they were in support for Ejiofor. When you test the hypothesis, you will now see that it is clear that both the DOS and Ejiofor, they are in one camp. They are working together. They are collaborating. They are partnering together. And the money feeding them was coming from the caliphate, which was why Simon Ekpa said Ejiofor was the eye of the Nigerian government in IPOB. I hope now you guys get it now. That's why if you watch now, when you listen to the so-called DOS, you can hear a rat piece on cotton in their camp. Because they have said nothing about the so-called proscription of IPOB. They've said nothing about it. They don't care. Because all they want to do is to secure their bag, secure that money that was paid to them. $9 million. They must secure it. So they are doing everything possible to nail down Nnamdi Kanu and nail down IPOB. Because if they can say that IPOB is now a proscribed so-called organization, it means Nnamdi Kanu by proxy is guilty. He's a terrorist because they've just called IPOB a terrorist group. Do you not get it? Even though we know that IPOB represents everybody, every Biafran living in Biafra and in a bite of Biafra, nor even those living abroad. As long as you are a Biafran, you are a member of IPOB, the indigenous people of Biafra. Indigenous, it means those who are from that land, that particular area, that land known as Biafra. Do you not get it? So what they want to do is to give a dog a bad name just to hang it. We've been saying this all this while. The zoo court could not nail down Nnamdi Kanu. They said Nnamdi Kanu was discharged in the zoo court. But suddenly now they are coming with the IPOB and they are making them a terrorist organization. Nigeria. Only in Nigeria can elephant fly. According to Simon Ekpa. Those were the words of Simon Ekpa. Only in Nigeria can you see elephants fly. What a shame. But let's continue.
For me, I don't know if I need Ejiofor very well.
All right.
But Ozekhome is somebody I know, and Ozekhome is qualified to be a member of the body of the Betrayal.
Okay.
So,
you kids are right.
That's through Delhi.
Okay.
So,
do you think Kanunta Kanu is saying this to get attention, to resuscitate the emergency of the release of Nnamdi Kanu? Because you can't expect that somebody would wake up and start indicting these two individuals who are actually well prominent in the legal world and they were the ones who started the case in terms of defending Nnamdi Kanu from the onset.
Esther Mo, this is why I'm telling you, stop bringing this guy to the, to your studio. He's not ready. He's not ready. His own problem is Simon Ekpa. That man you have there. His own problem is Simon Ekpa. Stop bringing the folk. I don't want to laugh because I'm really, really vexed. I'm really, really vexed. So this guy doesn't know what he's saying, Esther. please get somebody who is more, articulated. Somebody that can, can hold their own. Please. He has no clue about what is happening, but he is calling Simon Ekpa a criminal, a terrorist. That's what he wants to speak about. Just continue, I beg.
Yes, I know, but for some time they have not been doing that, but we are not really informed why they were sacked. It's just now that it is coming up.
Okay.
It is not just now, it is you that don't know why they were sacked. From day one, we've been saying the reason why they were sacked, but because you are so deaf, so dumb and blind, you refuse to listen to us. You are saying, oh, they didn't tell us why they were sacked. It is just now we are knowing why they were sacked. How kind of nonsense is that? I beg, continue with this one, I beg.
The issue of Tinubu.
Okay.
Since Kanunta made that statement, there has not been a counter from Sheyi or from the presidency. And I know that for him to be bold enough to say that, there must have been an agreement or an understanding
between them. But since then, Sheyi Tinubu has not come out to either affirm or discredit the statement he made.
So that is what I...
Does this also affirm the suggestions or speculations that there are persons working within the legal team of Nnamdi Kanu that may be responsible for the continuous delay or the continuous incarceration of Nnamdi Kanu? That, like, it seems like maybe they do not know how to defend his case with what Kanunta is actually revealing now.
For me, the last statement that Ejiofor made.
Okay.
That's when they said that Nnamdi Kanu was asking for his case to be transferred to the southeast or south.
Yes.
I strongly faulted it.
You did?
I strongly faulted it.
Wow.
I said that statement was wrong.
Wow.
That what Ejiofor should have been asking is for federal government to discharge and acquit Nnamdi Kanu. Since they cannot prosecute him, they should discharge him. Because in court, that's what is known as diligent prosecution. And when a prosecutor fails to prosecute a case diligently, the case should be, the suspect should be discharged and acquitted, and not transferred to another, to somewhere else.
Holy dear, the reason why he said it should be transferred is because he knows that he will never get justice in the court of the Islamic Jihad. Whether you like it or not, any court for Abuja, na Islamic country be that. That's the fact you should know. They will be delaying Nnamdi Kanu for the next as long as possible. But the only place when perhaps, because they understand your culture, your way of life, they understand your perspective, your psychology. Perhaps when you take the case to the eastern region amongst your people, amongst your peers, amongst your kingsmen, then they will not apply common sense in the case. Hence, in their federal high court of the eastern region, they said IPOB should never have been prescribed. But they went back to the north in Abuja and IPOB was prescribed. So that's the problem, the fallacy of Nigeria. I bet you somebody like Chief Dr. Sunday Igboho, if you take him to court in Yoruba land, he will win you 1 million times. But if you take him to court in the north, there will be a problem. He will not win the case because you will know what's going on in the north. If you bring him to the eastern region court, we are people that are very, very fair. We are fair, we are just, we are transparent. You know, we are always fighting for what? Accountability, transparency, and the rest. So if you bring somebody like Chief Sunday Igboho to the Eastern Court, he will find justice and he will get it. But if you take a Biafran man to the Yoruba court, unfortunately, due to that tribalism and the Afonjas working with the Nigerian government, we will not get justice in the Yoruba land. Hence, the Eze Ndigbo Ajao estate, he spent 2 years over nothing. So that's the problem, the fallacy of integration in that so-called Nigeria, Oyibo. That's the problem we have in that so-called Nigeria.
Okay.
Because saying transfer means you want a continuation of that case.
Okay.
So I faulted that statement strongly. I said they're not supposed to be asking for a transfer, but for them to discharge and acquit Nnamdi Kanu because they don't have anything concrete against him.
Mr. Peter Anosike, still on the case of the Southeast, one of the strong reasons Nnamdi Kanu became a supposed voice or a leader of the Southeasterners was because of the infiltration of Fulani headsmen into the borders of the Southeast. That was when Nnamdi Kanu started really preaching as to what you would call under former President Muhammadu Buhari, where he was talking about a deliberate attempt to Islamize the country. I'm sure you recall at the times that this were the statements he made. And then that was when some security outfits were actually, the security outfits were established. Now, Nnamdi Kanu has been incarcerated. We now saw the Monday sit at home. During the Monday sit at home, which was pioneered by Simon Ekpa. Now, a lot of things were going on in the Southeast. Complaints that persons being killed were the orchestration was by the Liberation Army, led by Simon Ekpa. The Chief of Defense Staff granted interviews across several media platforms that Simon Ekpa was the cause of the insecurity in the Southeast. Now, Simon Ekpa is within the finished custody, but the insecurity in the Southeast continues. Persons are being missing in Anambra State. Unwanted, unnecessary killings taking place. Children were killed in a home, placed in a freezer. Another time in Osu, a complete family was wiped off, macheted and brutally killed. In Ebonyi State on Sunday, young men were cut off. Now, the Ohaneze Youth Wing is saying that Governor Francis Nwifuru of Ebonyi State was previously alerted. He was told about this individual's attack, but he was complacent, lackadaisical, and laid back. And his response afterwards was to tell the residents to be calm, that they were trying to mobilize security men to take care of the situation. What exactly is going on in the Southeast now?
Wow, my God.
Anambra in particular, the governorship election is this year, 2025, around November 2025. Okay. And anywhere there's election, there's heightened there's tension. Okay. Once election is coming, there will be tension. Then, for people to kill somebody and put it in the freezer has nothing to do with the herdsmen. No, that,
I'm referring to the incidents in the Southeast. That's an incident in Anambra, the herdsmen attack as well in Ebonyi, where you have unwanted killings that actually has no reason. There's no reason for the killings.
Yeah, so for the one in Ebonyi, the governor should, if actually he was notified, if actually there was an alert and he didn't take it serious, then he should be held responsible for the deaths of those people. But I heard what he said, a press conference that he gave yesterday, that he's going to go all out and make sure that those people are brought to justice. It could be, maybe he was given information and he didn't take it serious. Okay. Or maybe information was passed and it didn't get to him. So we need to really know what happened. But he is the commander-in-chief in Ebonyi State.
Hold on there, I beg. Hold on there. You were the one saying that Simon Ekpa is responsible. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry that kick the bucket in the zoo, anything when they buy, una blame Simon Ekpa. A pregnant woman when they buy, una blame Simon Ekpa. Everything happening in Southeast was blamed, put on the head, on the shoulders of Simon Ekpa. But right now, you are here blabbing, beating about the bush. If they open your mouth, they talk trash now. You of all people, you said Simon Ekpa is a killer, he's a terrorist, he's a small boy, he's the one causing all the mayhem in the Southeast. But right now, in the absence of Simon Ekpa, since the month of November, he's not been around. He's been kept somewhere by Finland. He's been kept somewhere, to call a spade a spade. He has been kept somewhere. So that makes me to ask you guys now, who is now responsible for all the atrocities, mayhem, pillaging happening in the land of Biafra? You see? Naysayers. They give a dog a bad name just to hang it. You are making the same mistake you made 2,000 years ago. You bastards, you animals, you are making the same mistake you made 2,000 years ago. You came and said nothing good can come out of Nazareth. Nothing good can come out of Nazareth. So because Jesus Christ was a Nazarene, you refuse to believe in him. You call him the problem. You blamed him for everything. Even when Pontius Pilate presented you with Barnabas, a criminal from the highway, Barnabas against Jesus, you chose Barnabas over Jesus. You all chose the Fulani Cabal over Simon Ekpa. You chose the governors over Simon Ekpa. You chose Hope Uzodinma, you animals, you bastards, over Simon Ekpa. But now, in the absence of Simon Ekpa, the same thing is still happening. Right now, it's even more pronounced. They are taking the life of the youths with joy, with ease. They are making videos, dragging the lifeless bodies of the Biafran youths all around with the motorbike, busting their head wide open into the white meat, live on TV, captured on camera, and nothing is done about it. Now, those who blame Simon Ekpa, those bastards, they've kept a blind eye. They've kept a blind eye. I understand. They say sometimes envy turns to jealousy, and jealousy turns to hatred. I understand. You were envious of this young man from Finland. How dare he? Why must it be him? He's from Ebonyi State. He does not qualify to be a freedom fighter. How dare he? Who is he? That was the problem. You backed the Nigerian government over the person trying to liberate your people, trying to stop the carnage happening in Biafra land. But today now, you guys, you are speaking in a new tongue. Now for the first time, you are saying, blame the governor. If the governor was aware and he did not know nothing about it, blame the governor. But you heard the governor said he will leave no stone unturned. He will go after the perpetrators. Blame the governor. But all these years, since 2021, when they went to kidnap Nnamdi Kanu and brought him tonight, the enemies went to Kenya to kidnap him. But you turned a blind eye to the enemy. The one that went to kidnap our leader, you turned a blind eye. You were blaming the disciple of Nnamdi Kanu, the most beloved disciple of Nnamdi Kanu, the one they call Mazi Ekpa Simon Njoko. You called him the problem. You betrayed him. You cajoled him. Bianca Ojuku. Uchechi Kanu. Uchechi. Your own case is special because your husband told us to listen to Simon Ekpa. It was Nnamdi Kanu that anointed Simon Ekpa. He told us to listen to Simon Ekpa and share his videos because Simon was coming with a new dimension. It came from the mouth of your husband. Oyendo. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Uchechi, yet you, Bianca, the DOS, you wrote a petition to Finland to blackmail Simon Ekpa. You connived with some cabinet members in the government of Simon Ekpa to blackmail him. Uchechi. You called him the midget in Finland. The Obele midget in Finland. Those were your words against a man that was loved by your husband, Nnamdi Kanu. Hey! This word, Nawa. This word is scary. This love that we have for your husband, the love we have for Nnamdi Kanu. Before he left, he told us to listen to his most beloved, the one he loved most. Now I get it, because we also heard, Uchechi, you were working with Ejiofor. We heard it from Simon Ekpa. Now it makes sense. Now I see why you were angry with the one that exposed Ejiofor. Now it makes sense. Now I get it. Because I was asking myself, if you are the husband, if you are the wife of Nnamdi Kanu, it means you are the helper of your husband. You are the one to be there to support him through thick and thins. His problem becomes your problem, and the ones that he advocates for, you should be there to champion it. The moment he told us to support Simon Ekpa, you should have been there to say, fellow Biafrans, follow Simon Ekpa, follow who know road. He's been blessed, he's been anointed by my husband, Nnamdi Kanu. I say we follow Simon Ekpa, but no. Instead, you attacked the one that was blessed by Nnamdi Kanu, the most beloved. Biafrans, man. God. My people are bad. Our people are lame. Our people are lame. The wickedness amongst us sometimes, I wonder where it came from. When I look back at our people, the way we behave sometimes, I wonder, is it even worth it to fight for a people that are very, very stubborn? You are fighting to help them to liberate their land, but because they are based somewhere in Canada, in America, they will turn around and blackmail you and work with the enemies against you because they are in America. They've made some money. When they look at the dollars they've made $100,000. They've made $500,000. When they convert it, it runs into billions. Because of that, they love Nigeria because they know one day when they go back to Nigeria, they'll become billionaires in Nigeria. Hence, they hate Simon Ekpa for trying to liberate the people of Biafra. Selfish interest. The selfish interest of a Biafran. People like Chidi in Canada, Dr. Damages in America. Selfish interest. They've made some money in America. And they are hoping that Nigeria will be great. So they can take the money they've made back to Nigeria and become billionaires overnight and live with the politicians, rub shoulders with them. So when they saw this young man from Finland doing the unthinkable, being loved by the people of Biafra, they got angry because to them Simon Ekpa was delaying their return to Nigeria. They love Nigeria with a passion. They love Nigeria with a passion. They want to go back with the money they've made. You see, sometimes it is temptation. I understand. It is temptation. That greed in you might tell you, say, brother, what are you doing? This money you have made now, when you check the exchange rate, it means $500,000 has made me a billionaire already in the Nigerian currency. Billionaire, Let us pray for Nigeria to be good so we can go back to Nigeria and enjoy life, live like big boys, buy a house in VGC, buy a nice car, and live the best of life. I'm in America, I'm in Canada, the cold is too much, there is winter. These white people don't respect me, there is racism in America. If I take this money back to Nigeria, I'll become something I never was in Nigeria. I understand those sentiments, those greed, that thing that spoke to Judas, that made him to sell his master Jesus. Despite Judas was everywhere when they were doing their fellowship, preaching, he was there, spreading the gospel with Jesus. But deep inside, because he was the financial, manager of Christ. He was the one holding the money. And he thought to himself, look, I'm tired of this job. We repeat the same sermon over and over again. The Pharisees, they want to be my friend. The Pharisees, they've come to me. They are asking me to come for a meeting with them. When I went to them, they gave me wine, fresh wine. They gave me women and all that stuff. I was enjoying the best of life. And now they're telling me to just, to betray this guy, get some money, and I'll be living their lifestyle. Perhaps he went into financial accounting with the aspiration to live that kind of good life. Like in that zoo, they will tell you, oh, go and study law, go and study medicine so that you have a good job. When you have a good job, you will have a good life. Your family will be rich. Things like perhaps during that time. Those were the sentiments of Judas. Because it beats my imagination. The people who live abroad, you see how life is in the Western world. But your politicians say what they are doing back home. And somehow you support your politicians over those that are coming to liberate you. Ah, God. People like Chidi, Dr. Damages. It will never be well for you guys. It will never be well for you guys. May the God of Biafra never give you guys peace. Because what you did to Simon Ekpa, the last interview he had was with you guys. What you did to that man was evil. And I'm calling upon the gods of Biafra, the God of justice should come down and take that your freedom and liberty away. That thing that you wish for Simon Ekpa is what the God of Biafra will bring upon you, your children, your children's children. You guys, you are evil. You are evil. You love Nigeria because you are far away in America. You have forgotten about the hardship you went through when you were in that zoo. No. You've made some money. And you want to go back to Nigeria to go and enjoy it. Bunch of bastards and losers. I rest my case. It's so sad. Biafrans is so sad that among your own people, they will be the one to blackmail you. This same Chidi went all the way right into Finland, right into the embassy of Finland. Was blackmailing Simon Ekpa all the way from Canada. And you think I'm happy about it? Eh? You guys can never do half of what Simon Ekpa has done for his people. You are in Canada and you are calling out on Showore for president. Showore. I see where your heart is. And I make, Showore becomes the president. So you will now go to Nigeria and become, an advisor to Showore. And enjoy the money you have made in Canada. That's the thinking of a greedy bastard. Very greedy animals. I rest my case. For those that have ears, let them hear. For those that have ears, let them hear.
Biafra must be restored, for there is nothing the enemies can do about it. You brought Biafra that light may come into Africa. You gave us hope because we are in a continent of hopelessness. And by thy grace, Biafra shall be restored. We shall be resurrected. We shall crown our efforts with the glory by the grace of the Most High Himself. We are not strong. We do not pretend to be strong. All we do is to submit ourselves to your will, that your will may be done upon our lives. We have lost many people. We have lost so many good people. Their sacrifice will never be forgotten. We shall honor them, and for their sake, Biafra will come. Because we are wandering all over the world, hoping against every hope that things will turn around for the better. It has never turned around for the better. Instead, it is getting worse. Please do not abandon your children. You have given us a commission, and we must accomplish it in our lifetime. Our enemies are equally important because they must listen. Those who do not love the truth must listen. Those who are beholden to darkness, they must also listen. For we are here to bring light upon a very darkened continent without Biafra. Africa is nothing without Biafra. There is no difference between a black man and a wild animal in the forest. We say every ounce of conviction. I welcome each and every one of you. If you're joining us for the very first time, this is Radio Biafra. This is how we do it. We magnify the name of the Most High before we do anything. That is why we are exceptionally formidable. That is why